Alright, so today I got something pretty special for you, which is Star Wars Power of the Force Bespin Luke Skywalker. This is the series that traditionally is known as Power of the Force 2 because they actually did a Power of the Force in like 1985, 1986, something like that. And that's like one of the rarest lines of Star Wars figures because it was at the tail end of the original vintage line. But this one here would have come out around, God, what, 1997? Yeah, 1997. This would have been around the time of the special editions. Yeah, if you even look at the back, it's got advertisements for the special edition versions of the Dewback and Jabba the Hutt, and a lot of other cool figures like the Gamorrean Guard, and one of my favorite characters, Grand Moff Tarkin, and the Snow Trooper, who was with the original vintage line, one of my favorite figures to have is like a troop builder. Anytime that somebody would take me to the store and I'd see Star Wars action figures, and so like my mom took me to the store and I'm like, "Mommy, can I have a Star Wars action figure?" "Oh yeah, sure." And I'd go over and pick one out, and if there wasn't one that I didn't already have, if it was all a bunch of figures that I already had, I'd usually pick a snow trooper because I like the snow troopers. I think I like the snow troopers better because they had a rifle instead of like the regular stormtrooper gun, so they just seemed a little more intimidating. Anyway, so this is a really cool figure. Uh, it's one of my favorite like nostalgic figures as far as Star Wars goes. They've done other versions of Bespin Luke since this, which have been better in terms of like sculpting, painting, details, articulation, that sort of thing. But this is one that hits me right in the nostalgia buttons. And this is also one where I felt like they were starting to push it past the standard 5 point of articulation that traditionally Star Wars figures had up to this point. Now, technically, most Power of the Force figures had 6 points of articulation because they added a waist articulation, but still it's straight arms up and down, straight legs up and down, that sort of thing. But this one added a little something extra to it, so I'm gonna show you because I'm gonna open up this 20-year-old. Well, no, it's not even 20 years old. It's a 30-year-old action figure, isn't it? Let me think. Let me think about my math. I'm not good at math. So that's 20, about 23 years old. This action figure is. The package opened up really easily. So it comes with a little slide. I'll go ahead and take out and show you. This would be like a slide you could actually put in a slide projector, and it's got an image of Luke Skywalker from Empire Strikes Back. So I don't know if you can see it that well because of the lighting, but it's, says Luke Skywalker ventures into Vader's web on Bespin's Cloud City. So, Empire Strikes Back is, of course, considered by most to be one of the best Star Wars movies, if not the best Star Wars movie. I think it's the best Star Wars movie. And it might even be my favorite Star Wars movie after the first Star Wars, which is entitled Star Wars. New Hope. I ain't buying into that. The poster says Star Wars on it. That movie's called Star Wars. I mean, you can call it New Hope if you want, just to avoid any confusion, but I'm not going to split hairs over it. To me, it's just Star Wars. It was Star Wars when I first watched it. It's Star Wars now. Alright, so Luke comes with 2 different accessories. He comes with a blaster pistol, which is the same blaster pistol that Han Solo usually comes with because, he had the same blaster pistol himself in Empire. So, and he can grip it very well. Although usually how I like to display it was I like to put the blaster pistol in his left hand so that I could put the lightsaber into his right hand. Now, I feel like this blaster pistol is kind of oversized. It looks almost more like the size that it should be for like a 5-inch action figure, or even a 6-inch action figure. But, at least it'd make it harder for the kids to lose it. I mean, look at the holster that's on his leg that's supposed to hold that thing. Tiny. It won't actually hold it, though, because it's just sculpted onto the leg. Remember, this was an action figure made in 1997, so, he's mostly, like I said, got the standard sort of 6 points of articulation that the Power of the Force figures had. You can turn his head, move his arms up and down. They go all the way around. Move his legs up and down. They go about so far in each direction. And then you can turn his waist. Now, here's a really cool feature about this Luke Skywalker. And this is what I was talking about when I was saying that it has a little more articulation than standard. It has at least one more point of articulation because of his action feature. You can remove his hand. So yeah, they made it so like you could actually have Darth Vader chop Luke Skywalker's hand off, which is really cool. Uh, kids in the '90s would have been crazy about this one. Ah! Recreate the famous scene. In fact, like if you look at some of the details on his uniform, like this pocket here on this shoulder is torn. So there's a lot of good attention to this pocket here is torn. A lot of good attention to detail as far as trying to recreate Luke's look in that final duel scene. And I don't go all the way. He doesn't quite have like the scrapes and things like he would have, but there's enough there that like it's obvious what they were going for. Let me go ahead and put his hand back in there. So since you can remove his hand, that has the added bonus of you can actually swivel his wrist back and forth and get some more dramatic lightsaber poses out of him than you could the standard Power of the Force figures at the time. So it's not quite to the point yet where he could hold the saber in two hands like they do in the movie, but it's getting closer. You get some good dueling poses out of him. So the facial likeness is really good. He does have kind of like that puppy dog sort of expression on his face. Let's see if I can get it to focus in there. Like a lot of the Power of the Force figures had that sort of puppy dog expression to his face, and in this case, I think it's justified, because this would be Luke when he's facing off against Darth Vader, and I tell you, if I was going to have to face off against Darth Vader, I'd look a lot more frightened than that. In fact, like, my action figure of me fighting Darth Vader, not only would he have, like, a, terrified expression on his face, but he'd have, like, a nice, deep, dark stain over the front of his trousers. And in fact, looks like there is a nice, deep, dark stain over the front of his trousers. There's some airbrushing out here to bring out some of the detail, and it actually did get laid on pretty thick there. I don't blame you, Luke. I don't blame you one bit. Dude just chopped your hand off, then he told you he was his father, and, you had to fight him all through this freaking, mining colony. Yeah, yeah. I don't blame you for losing control of your bladder a little bit. So, the sculpting is really nice. It's not quite as good, like I said, as some of the later ones, where it had like a lot of detail to it and a lot of paint and stuff like that. But for 1997, this is damn good. This is a cutting-edge figure from that time. And it definitely helped pave the way for a lot of our more modern Star Wars action figures. So, this is still, I think, one of my favorite action figures of Luke Skywalker. Even with a lot of the better ones that have come out since, this one is still up there for me. So, anyway, that's pretty much it as far as this goes. I've got a few more Star Wars figures I'm going to do some videos on real quick, but that's it for this one. All right, take care. Bye.